What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Dean Thomas Show. I am, of course, Dean Thomas. Thank you for joining me. I got to keep it short and sweet today because I'm actually filming another episode of Looking for a Fight, Dana White Looking for a Fight. So before I get started, let me give myself some shameless plugs. If you haven't seen Dana White Looking for a Fight, the Cabo episode, please check that out. The numbers have been tremendous, 500,000 views in the first 4 days. So please check that out, Dana White Looking for a Fight, the Cabo episode. Also, too, I want you guys to check out my short film that I did a few months ago, rather. It's called The Sandbox Memories. That's The Sandbox Memories. Go to YouTube. They're on YouTube for free. Check those out. The first thing I want to talk about today is my man CM Punk. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is just say that, listen, I'm proud of him. I appreciate what he did. He stepped into an area that he's unfamiliar with, and he lived out his dream. Like, that's the American dream, to set out, have a goal, set out, and achieve that. He did that. Is he talented enough to fight in the UFC? No, he's not. He's proven that. But I'm not going to kick the man while he's down and do what everybody else is doing. We live in a bully culture where it's easy for us to kind of kick people when they're down, and I'm not going to do that to CM Punk. All I'm saying is, yes, I appreciate what he did. But let that be a lesson to most of you guys out there who think that you can fight in the UFC just because, you know, it looks, you know, sometimes it can be reminiscent of a street fight. You knock some guys out at the bar, and now you think you can fight in the UFC. It takes a little bit more than that. But one thing I'm going to say about CM Punk, I'm not going to get into, you know, again, I'm not going to bully him and talk bad about him, but I'm going to say what I think happened in that fight. That I think he could have actually won that fight. We look at that fight and go, well, he was dominating, he looked bad, you know, the worst fighter. Listen, I think CM Punk went into that fight with the wrong mentality, and he, as opposed to going into that fight thinking, at all costs, I'm going to win this fight. But you understand that CM Punk is almost 40 years old. He went into that fight thinking, I want to fight, and that's what we got. He went into that fight thinking with the expectation of fighting more so than winning. So that's what we got. That's the performance that we got because of his mentality going into that fight. CM Punk's best chances of winning that fight was to get that fight on the ground, force that guy into some sort of grappling exchange, then submit him. Obviously, CM Punk didn't do that. He went out there, traded with him, kicked with him, punched with him, tried to get him down, but all his attempts were just a little too late because again, when he was training for that fight, he was more so thinking about fighting more so than winning. Had he went into that fight with the expectation of just straight winning and said, listen, I'm going to focus on getting takedowns, I'm going to focus on getting submissions, I'm going to focus on ground and pound, I think the outcome could have been different because that was a very winnable fight for him. You know, there's not many guys in the UFC that CM Punk could have beaten. That's one of them. Unfortunately, he went in, traded with the guy for a little too long, showed some toughness, showed some mental fortitude to not quit. A lot of fighters quit. So, again, you know, congratulations to CM Punk on that. And, you know, and for those who say, oh, well, CM Punk is taking jobs from fighters that deserve it, please give me a break on that. I mean, he fought twice in the UFC. How many fighters do we see turn down fights and don't want to fight this guy? Listen, CM Punk's a guy who was willing to fight the guy they put in front of him. Obviously, I mean, and I believe, knowing him, that he would have fought anybody. Obviously, they wanted to give him a fair enough matchup, but I believe he would have been willing to fight anybody just to say that he got in the UFC to fight. And at the end of the day, how different is CM Punk fighting in the UFC from, you know, actors or MMA fighters getting jobs in Hollywood and becoming actors over the thousands of actors in Hollywood that have put their time in to do it? I mean, at the end of the day, like, Ronda Rousey wasn't the best choice for the Expendables, you know what I'm saying, as far as her acting prowess goes. You know, so just hear me out on this. Cut CM Punk some slack, give him a break, be proud of him, but listen, then say goodbye to him. That's it. Why spend any more time talking about CM Punk? On that note, CM Punk, I love you, bro. So now let's get into Robert Whittaker and Yoel-Romero. You know, a lot of people thought Yoel-Romero won that fight. And, you know, sometimes when you look at that and you go, you know, I thought he won, I thought he did enough. Again, I think it always comes down to sometimes the scoring and the fact that the fighters just don't know. I know I touched on this last week as far as that open scoring goes, but again, I think it proves my point that we need that open scoring because, you know, fighters can change their strategy up based on what they know the score is going into that last round or going into those last rounds. knowing what the score is, and you know that that's what the judges are seeing, you can change your strategy up to maybe give you a better chance of winning. And you know, Yoel Romero wasn't awarded that opportunity because he didn't know what the score was. I'm sure in his head, in his mind, he might have thought he was winning. Now, it's easy to say this. Don't leave it in the hand of the judges. Always fight to finish. You know who says that? You know who says that? People who never fought. Or fighters who ain't fought in a long time. Or fighters that aren't in the middle of the cage during a fight. Don't leave it in the hand of the judges. Because do you think for 1 second that Yoel Romero and Robert Whittaker were trying to leave that in the hand of the judges? Absolutely not. You know, most fighters, they prepare for 6 weeks, 2 months with the expectation and the idea in their head that they're going to go out there and knock their opponent out. But when they get in there, it's totally different because this guy's swinging back. That female's swinging back. It's a tougher fight than they imagined. It's not about leaving it in the hand of the judges. It's about doing what you got to do, and they're trying to finish. Sometimes they're trying to finish the fight. Sometimes they're doing everything they can to finish, but they can't. They're just incapable of, because that other person is not cooperating with them. So stop saying don't leave it in the hand of the judges, because it's not really up to you at the end of the day. The person you're fighting is not cooperating with you. It's direct conflict. So leaving it in the hand of the judges is the dumbest thing I ever said. Again, the only people who say that are people who don't fight, people who never fought, or if you are a fighter and you said that, you're not saying that in the middle of the fight. You could be on the outside and looking in and go, oh man, don't leave it in the hand of judges. That's a stupid saying, but when you're in the middle of a fight, I promise you, you're not thinking that, because in your head, you're not trying to leave it in the hand of the judges. You are trying to win. But if you don't know that you're winning and you think you're winning, you're going to get scores. And you're going to have situations where, like Yoel Romero fight, where a lot of people thought he won, but he didn't. Now, will that solve all the problems with open score? No, because, you know, even in between rounds, you may think you won a round and it might go to the other guy. But you know what? At least you know now. At least you know, all right, I thought I won that round, but I didn't. So now it's time for me to do something different. Not necessarily going for a specific finish, but you know you have to do something different in order to sway the judges or even get that finish. But what's next for Robert Whittaker? Who knows? I mean, you know, there's still a lot to be told in that division. A lot of guys still, you know, chipping away for that top spot. All right, y'all, check it out. I told y'all earlier, I got to keep this short and sweet. I got to get back to filming. Right now, filming Looking for a Fight. So listen, check out that last episode, Looking for a Fight in Cabo. It's season 3, episode 1. Looking for a Fight. Dana White, Looking for a Fight in Cabo. Also, Sandbox Memories, both available on YouTube for free. Listen, I apologize if I had to cut this too short for you guys, but I got to get back to filming. I'll catch up with you guys next week. See you then. Boom, I'm out. Dean Thomas.